And I'm going to start this chat the same way I have been starting all of these chats, where I'm going to let all the cosmetic chemists on the stage introduce themselves. And Cynthia, would you like to go first for this one?
Sure. Hey, everybody. I'm Cynthia Johnson, founder and CEO of Cindy J Cosmetic Labs, LLC. Actually just moved into a new facility. We're expanding like crazy. So I apologize if some, but I've just been moving nonstop for 2 weeks. But we help business owners start their own hair care or skincare line. Been in the industry for 6 years, going on 7, and been with different contract manufacturers. But currently, I am full time entrepreneur, full time laboratory.
Esther, would you like to go next?
Me or oh yeah, me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, it cut off a little bit. Hi, everybody. My name is Esther Olu. I am also a cosmetic chemist amongst everybody here. I'm specifically working in the contract manufacturing sector right now. I'm not fully independent yet. I also do a little bit of science communication on social media at the Melanin Chemist on Instagram and also Twitter. Nice to see everybody again.
And then last but not least, Cassandra?
My name is Cassandra Celestin. I am the beauty chemist, and I am a cosmetic chemist, cosmetologist, makeup artist. I have a company called Beauty Alchemy Group where I formulate and do consultation with hair care and skincare. And I'm always glad to be on this panel with everyone here.
Coming week after week, and you'll also be joining me bright and early tomorrow morning. If anyone is interested on YouTube, we're going to have a panel on safe beauty, making Cassandra get up. Is it going to be, I forget, like 7:30? We're meeting at 7:40. Early start, but totally worth it. Hope to see you guys there. Okay, so the topic of this week is going to be on emulsifier and I guess emulsion formula misconceptions. And this, I think the inspiration of this whole chat was a Twitter comment. I think maybe Esther, you saw it first, but I'm not sure the progression of this, of somebody proclaiming that emulsions made your skin lazy. So misconception 1, is this true? Do lotions make your skin lazy? What do you guys think? And maybe Esther, since you brought it up, do you want to go first?
Yes, so I saw this on Twitter a couple of days ago. There's some discourse on if people should moisturize their skin, and somebody specifically said that moisturizing is not good for your skin and makes your skin lazy. I'm not really sure where this claim came from, so I actually did a little bit of research myself, and a couple of brand owners have used this claim to say that moisturizers make your skin lazy, as in it makes your skin lazy to be able to hydrate on its own. For me personally, I don't think it's true. I think that's a very bogus claim. As we are younger, as we do grow older, our transepidermal water loss, it does tend to increase, which is why when you get older, your skin tends to be more dry. So moisturizing is a great way to replenish your skin. And moisturizers also contain occlusives, which I think are necessary components to help limit transepidermal water loss. And also sometimes cleansing can strip your skin, especially for people that do use a little bit more alkaline cleansers, and strip your skin of the very essential lipids that are in your skin as well. So I think moisturizing specifically helps to replenish your skin.
Cynthia, any thoughts?
Yeah, what is the definition of lazy in this whole thing? I'm still not understanding. Like, I'm putting lotion on and my skin is lazy? I'm confused.
Esther,
I'm not too
clarify. I don't think there was any clarification in this Twitter post, but maybe I'm wrong, Esther. Hey?
Let me split up. So pretty much, some dermatologists say one thing, and then some brand owners are saying another thing. So people are pretty much saying that Oh my goodness, sorry, my phone's acting up. So by playing with our faces, thick moisturizers and and oils causes our skin to become lax and complacent. I don't know how they're saying that it prevents our skin from being able to maintain its own hydration levels, and that over moisturizing can send a signal to your water reservoirs and halt production, making the skin lazy.
It sounds very scientific until that last statement.
Yeah, I was
Cynthia.
just about to say that. Yeah, I'm still not understanding where, where this theory is coming from. But like Esther says, when you do get older, your transepidermal water loss definitely increases. And I know we're going to talk about, emulsifiers and emulsifying agents, but to even say that claim with no kind of data behind it, it's I don't know. I'm just not liking that.
And now from the cosmetologist perspective, Cassandra, any thoughts?
I mean, you know what? It's funny because as far as like losing elasticity and like moisture and all this other ceramides and all this stuff in your skin, and you talk about adding it and rubbing the product onto your skin, and I don't know if this is what they're saying, that you're gonna make your skin look older or whatever. But it's funny because Jim Carrey, I think about when you talk about this, Esther, I think about Jim Carrey, because Jim Carrey did all those facial like type of gestures in all his movies. And I've heard that the reason that he aged so fast is because he did all of those types of gestures and stuff like that. And then someone said like, okay, he needs to, use moisturizer. When I say someone that I know that does his makeup for movies. And the person was saying that, yeah, he does. He uses the best moisturizers, but it's just the fact that he's always, moving all those muscles around in his face. So that ends up happening. But what Esther is saying, that's, like you said, it sounded scientific until it didn't.
Okay, so consensus here is that claim is bunk. Yeah, I feel like we're all in agreement there. Another claim that I have heard quite a lot, and Esther, I think I maybe shared a post with you about this. I mean, they had water in the formula, but there's this idea that lotions are made up of all these different fillers, including they can have up to 70% water. Is that a bad thing? Is water filler? What does water do for an emulsion formulation? Maybe to like help with the aesthetics or performance. Cassandra, do you want to kick this one off? Or Cynthia, if Cassandra's not free right now.
Yeah. So someone is saying that the water was up to 70% in a lotion. Um, what is the misconception here?
That water
I'm a little
is like, it's a filler. It shouldn't be there. Water is a waste of space. There should be other stuff like hydrosols
like, do
with
we
this
have to?
specific this specific brand.
I feel like we're going back to cosmetic chemistry 101.
Yeah.
Like, you you need water for an emulsion, for just the water. Now, I have heard of people saying, from I guess a planet, save the planet type of vibe, that let's do a water-free type of product. So instead of using water, you would use like aloe vera juice, or you will use like a fruit water, or whatever the case may be. I've never really heard of someone saying water as a filler, saying that you don't need water, but I have heard of the quote unquote eco-friendly type of waterless products.
And I guess I would I would wonder about the if somebody were to do an LCA comparison between aloe vera as the water phase versus water,
Yeah.
which would actually have the lower impact, especially because there seems to be some sustainability issues. Esther, what do you think? Oh, and then also what does water do for the formulation too? Cynthia kind of talked about it, but Esther, maybe you can highlight some more, like with the way a lotion feels. Why do we want water in there?
So what was the first question? I'm sorry.
That water in the formula is a waste of space, essentially. It's filler. Formulas have up to, like the post that I sent you before, have up to 70% water, and that must be a bad thing. And then also this one example that I sent you had, was it hydrosol, except it was concentrated.
Oh yes.
I don't remember exactly what was happening there. That wasn't what I was commenting on with that specific post, but what do you think?
Well, I mean, water is it's a universal solvent, and it definitely helps dissolve, like for example, emulsifiers. And to even make an emulsion, to make a good emulsion, excuse me, you definitely want to have some water soluble emulsifiers, especially also of course oil soluble emulsifiers. It's not just there for fun; it's there to carry ingredients that are typically, let's say, not able to dissolve in like silicones or oil as well. It's necessary. It's not like I said, it's not there for fun. We don't add water for fun. And to even say that all skincare products contain 70% of water is a really over exaggerated claim, because some products will contain as little as like 40% water, if not even less, and the rest are like, it could be actives and other ingredients as well.
And Cassandra.
And
Oh, sorry,
water.
Cynthia.
Oh yeah, you're fine. You're fine. I was going to add to that. You need some type of delivery system as well, and water is of course a solvent, so you need the water as a delivery system for like your active ingredients or your extracts, whatever the case may be. So water is definitely necessary.
And Cassandra, what do you think? Are you trying to talk? I don't know because your mic is
Oh, I'm
off.
sorry.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Can you hear me?
I can hear
Okay.
you.
Can you please repeat the question? I didn't get the question.
Water as a filler. Is water a filler, quote unquote filler, a waste of space in formula? Or, as we've been highlighting, does it have like a benefit to the formulation? For aesthetics, for example, uh, uh, active delivery, and so on and so forth.
I mean, definitely for aesthetics, active delivery. Yeah, I think in a sense it does, because some of those raw materials you just can't put on your skin, 100% or 50% at that, 25%, some of them. So you need water as a filler, but as a good filler, because you need that to dilute the raw materials to get the benefits from those raw materials, because otherwise you're going to have too much of another filler or too much of that raw material, which can irritate the skin.
So water is necessary for your formula, and is yeah.
Absolutely.
Are there any misconceptions that you guys see? Maybe another one that I'll just add is this misconception that the performance of the products, I see this kind of across the board, and I'd be interested if you agree with me. The performance of the aesthetics, the way a product feels, whether people will like it or not, I guess, comes down to all the different fancy actives, fancy actives that are in their formula. When in reality, the emulsifier has a big part to do with that, and also the emollient choice. Would you agree with that? And then also why?
Yeah, Jen, I was literally just about to comment on that, because I think we talked about this a while ago. The emulsifying agents and how people feel as though if you put oils on top of oils, emollients, conditioning agents, that's the feel that you're getting. Where in actuality, it does come from your emulsifying properties or your emulsifying agents. I know for me, with skincare, I love using Olivem 1000, the Satirial Elevate and Sorbitan Elevate, because of the type of texture that it gives and also the after feel. It's, I also did an experiment where I did the Olivem 1000 with just water, I think glycerin, the preservative, and I want to say just an active ingredient, just one active ingredient. And then I did a comparison with a whole bunch of oils, a whole bunch of active ingredients, and they literally feel the same. So the feel and the texture is definitely going to come from your emulsifying agent.
Esther, what do you think?
I agree. I think people mainly attribute the texture and the feel of like creams and lotions to just the oils, if there are any oils in it. But it really is the emulsifiers. I'm not sure why I'm forgetting like what I'm saying. It's because of the way that the structure of emulsifiers are set up, how they set up into a solution. I don't want to get too sciencey, but the a really good emulsion is going to have these lamellar sheets and this crystalline structure, and how good that this structure is set up is going to determine how easily that your creams and lotion break onto your skin, how easily it could spread and slip, whether it's giving your whether it provides cushion, the dry down time, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So emulsifiers are doing more than people think. They're definitely a really critical component of emulsions in particular.
And Cassandra, what do you think?
Yeah, I definitely agree with everyone saying. Yeah, and especially Esther. Yeah, when you're making an emulsion, you think about the fatty acids, the esters. No pun intended, Esther. The esters, fatty alcohol, fatty acids. You think about the classic, IPM, isopropyl glycerate, and ISP, isopropyl palmitate, those type of things, and how some of those esters kind of help with the feel, like in order to either get that cushion or to cut down the oil feel or the drying time, or to remove the whiteness of the product from all the fatty alcohols. So there is a real science to how all these type of emulsifiers, emollients kind of work in the formula.
Now we had an audience question from Julia Ruby, and just so everyone knows who's in the audience, if you have any additional questions, I mean, you could take me in the webinar chat, but also you could raise your hand and come to the stage and ask. But the question was, or I guess the comment, but question was that actually there are two long ones. Okay, I'll start with, I'll combine them. So the first one was around, I'll read the whole thing. It's a little lengthy, but there are some great points here. So, does a period of moisturizer use lead to increased transepidermal water loss after cessation of moisturizer use? And then going on to say, myth, petrolatum makes holes in your skin barrier. Truth, petrolatum disrupts the lipid bilayer structure of the lipid matrix. However, this does not lead to an increase in transepidermal water loss, but actually it decreases transepidermal water loss. And then going on to say, I remember reading a study that found applying petrolatum for some amount of days resulted in sustained reduction in transepidermal water loss from baseline that lasted for several days after the application of petrolatum was halted. It kind of seems like you answered your first question there, but maybe somebody else would like to chime in on that. So the first question was, does a period of moisturizer use lead to increased transepidermal water loss after you stop using the moisturizer? And then the second question was question/comment. I'd love to hear everyone else's favorite emulsifiers too. Esther, would you like to start for this one?
Yeah, I can go. I personally have not seen any studies that have shown that applying moisturizers would lead to an increase in water loss, but I've seen the opposite, where moisturizers can help reduce water loss. But at the end of the day, it also depends on the formulation too, because uh, as we know, that petrolatum is like the considered like the gold standard occlusive, and moisturizers aren't they're not as occlusive as petrolatum, like on its own, like let's say Vaseline or a CeraVe, like healing healing ointment. So it really depends, in my opinion, on like the formulation. But like I said, I personally do not believe that moisturizers will cause an increase in transepidermal water loss. My favorite emulsifiers are the Montanov series. I think it was a very innovative series, but I think it's Sepic. And I'm not sure if they were like the first suppliers of discovering how to make the crystalline structure that chemists use to help make lotions and creams. But I know they're one of the suppliers that focus on that. Yeah.
Cassandra, what do you think?
I agree with Esther as well. I think like with petrolatum, the pharmacy industry would not be using petrolatum this long if there was a problem with petrolatum. And I've done studies on petrolatum, and just like whoever had the question, that they saw a study somewhere that petrolatum actually helps, and that's what I've always seen. And you have to also, petrolatum is occlusive, so you have to also understand, it's different types of petrolatum too, and how they're made. So it depends where you're getting your petrolatum from, and if you're just talking about like Vaseline that you're getting from the store. Um, but as far as like also using moisture and stuff like that, with certain products that are being used on the skin, you also have to think about your environment, like where do you live and what type of water are you using also. It's coming out your shower and everything, because that plays an important part in it too. As far as like the product I like to use, I would say is the Lipac Shea Light Esther. I don't remember what the exact ink name is for it, but it's a really light shea butter ester, and it's amazing when you use it in formula for emulsions.
Cynthia, what do you think?
Yeah, I definitely agree with, just the history of petrolatum itself. I mean, petrolatum is, your monograph for skin protectant products. So I'm pretty sure, they did their data, their scientific data, so that it can be approved by the FDA. So that's something to really consider as well. Same goes with like dimethicone. Everyone raves about dimethicone maybe increasing that water loss, but it's like how if it already went through the monograph, unless they need to revisit the monograph through the FDA, and I'm pretty sure they're not going to do that. Again, I do love Olivem 1000, but I have been into a lot of cold process emulsifiers. And I know Chemium has a great cold process emulsifier. I think it's called Emulsifil SGP, and it's like a long inky name. But it's a really good product for your moisturizers, your face masks, and other types of skincare.
And for me, I've been really liking by Clariant, their plant essence emulsifier series, especially their HP 30. It has a really nice feel. And then Lucas Myers, I like their emulsifier systems, but they've recently launched Heliosoft, which feels really, really, really nice. Like a second skin kind of feel with the lecithin in it. Yeah. Any other misconceptions that I may have missed? Obviously, there are tons. Any top misconceptions outside of what we've already talked about that you've seen out there?
I think this might be a good time to ask people what they've seen, because there's only like 4 of us here, so we can't see everything.
Come to the stage and ask your questions. We're here to answer them. Cassandra or Cynthia, any misconceptions you've seen? While I'm inviting everyone to speak.
Let's talk about glycerin.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I know it's not an emulsifier, but when you put it in an emulsion system, people tend to think the more you put, the more hydration from in your product.
You kind of cut out there, but I think I heard what you said. The idea that the more glycerin you stick in the formula, the more hydration impact you're going to get from the formula. You're also going to get like a sticky, tacky feel. Esther, Cynthia, what do you guys think?
Yeah, you're definitely going to get that sticky tacky feel. I remember making I think it was like a tattoo cream on my first job, and my director wanted me to add like 10% glycerin in the cream, and I absolutely hated it. And I have 7 tattoos, by the way, so I used it on my tattoos, and I disliked it wholeheartedly, mainly because again with that stickiness and that tackiness. But I have seen formulations where your glycerin is at a high percentage, and people think, oh, it's going to hydrate my skin or hydrate my hair. I've seen it in a lot of hair care products as well with that glycerin increase.
Esther, what do you think?
Wait, so is a misconception that the more glycerin you add, the more hydrating it's going to be? Is that what we're trying to clarify?
Yes.
Well, I agree with what Cindy said, that it tends to be really really extremely tacky. But I'm going to tell you something interesting. My company is actually, we're working on a balm that's glycerin based. I know that sounds insane, but it's actually working. So we're the base is like, I think 50%, if not more, glycerin, and we're using emulsifiers. And right now it's working. It feels like it has like a balm, like literally like a lip balm, Vaseline type texture, and it feels like really good. So I really think it's a case by case basis. And if I can get samples, I'll send some to you guys. But I think it really depends. But I personally do not like the tack, too much tack. I think that's a very unappealing what's what I'm looking for? Unappealing aspect of a cosmetic.
I've formulated products with high glycerin content, especially for hair care, hair growth products like minoxidil, hair growth products, and I had glycols and propylene glycol. I'm sorry, propylene glycol are used at a high percentage in the formula to help solubilize the minoxidil. So and some other ingredients that we were using in there, and so it was very tacky and very nasty, and that was one of the side effects that people didn't like with the minoxidil type formulas. So what we did actually is use different silicones and emulsifier to still make it somewhat of a serum liquid like, but it didn't have a tacky feel. But the owners of that company believed that the more of the glycerin or the glycol, like propylene glycols that we would use, the better the product would penetrate, the actives would penetrate. And that wasn't necessarily true. So that's where my whole, not question, but one of the myths that I've heard about glycerin or glycol-like products.
Tony, any questions or comments that you'd like to add?
One of the misconceptions that I heard was someone was concerned that emulsifiers were damaging the skin barrier and they wanted an emulsifier-free moisturizer,
Like
which
just
I don't
straight
even
oils?
know. Yeah, I don't even know what that
Oh,
would be.
or something with a Pickering and emulsifier.
It'd
Something
be
like that.
separation. That's what it is. It'd be
Yeah, right,
separation
right.
that you're giving them.
There are
I mean,
like
we can talk.
So
Pickering emulsifiers that are like not really, I guess, from a chemistry perspective, traditional emulsifier. So perhaps that could work. I don't know if it's better, but yeah. Oh, and then I also saw
yeah,
like the manufacturing can also potentially help depending on the packaging, but I have no expertise there.
What were you gonna say, Tony?
yeah, they were just concerned that it was damaging the skin barrier.
What do you guys think?
So I don't know.
Any conclusive evidence that emulsifiers in an entire formulation damage the skin barrier? If anything, the entire formulation is trying to replenish your skin barrier. Well, obviously, depending on what other products you're using for your skincare routine. I'm not sure what everybody else thinks.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I don't think it's damaging. I definitely think it's more on the replenishing side. But again, like they have to look at the entire formula at that and actually get it tested to even make that type of claim.
Yeah, I agree with Cynthia. Like, basically, there's not enough information here for me to make to state my opinion on this. Sorry.
Maybe I'll just add like yeah, I've seen this before as well, the idea that emulsifiers will be bad for the skin. I think the idea was that they would like emulsify the lipids off of your skin. But like there's a lot of data out there for different emulsions that contain
Wait,
emulsifiers.
say that again, Jennifer. I'm sorry, I didn't. Did you say that again?
Yeah, this idea, I think I might have seen it on Instagram somewhere. I don't know who it was, but this idea was that emulsifiers in your lotions would emulsify the lipids when they touched your skin on your skin. So I like just like thinking about this like critically, like if emulsifiers were bad for your skin, then you wouldn't see like transepidermal water loss reductions over time with the use, which you see with using emulsion vessels for different applications. And like there's so many studies out there showing a skin benefit. If it was damaging, you wouldn't see like long-term improvements in different studies with different vessels containing emulsifiers. What do you guys think?
I agree.
Uh,
Yeah, I don't know. That just doesn't. I don't know. I don't have an opinion on this. It doesn't sound right. So yeah.
Tony, do you have any other questions or comments?
No,
Ciol?
that
Oh,
was what
oh,
I
sorry.
thought.
Ciolo,
That was what I thought the case
oh,
was.
I'm sorry. Ciolo, I see you've been trying to raise your hand. I tried to get you to the stage. If you have a question and I can't get you to the stage, feel free to ask it in the webinar chat, and then I will ask it. Sorry for cutting you off, Tony.
Don't worry about it.
Any other misconceptions around the lotions? Maybe there aren't that many misconceptions. There are so many at different angles past emulsifiers, like preservatives. Doesn't have to be preserved or yeah. Esther, what do you think?
This isn't a misconception about creams or lotions, but I just sent you a video, Jen. I think it was yesterday. About there's like a TikTok about this woman that was pretty much fear mongering over specific shampoo brands, and she made the claim that a specific shampoo is the same as dish soap. So I want to know,
saw
especially
that.
since Cindy and Cassandra, you guys also formulate hair care. I would like your opinion on if shampoos are the same as dish soap. I already have my opinion, but I'd love to hear everybody else's thoughts.
Well, I will say that one of the company, I think is it Steppen? I want to say a Steppen company. When I first worked in the industry, Steppen company came to our facility and talked about the wide range of ingredients. And he had one, well, the guy had, I think it was Bioturge AOS 40. And he said Bioturge AOS 40 is also used in the dish detergent industry or the home industry. So people probably see that ingredient and then see their ingredient in a hair care formulation and think it's the same thing. It's really not, because again, it depends on your formulation. You know, we're going to make sure we formulate your product for a hair care product and not a dish detergent product.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I can take the ingredients from a dish detergent, and add some other stuff to it and formulate it where it's mild for a body wash or shampoo. So, um, I mean, it's surfactants. If you're using, some of the SLS in dish detergent, and you're using like a clarifying shampoo that has SLS, it's the same thing, but it's a different formula. So, and I guess people really don't understand that. They just, they go crazy over just seeing that ingredient and think they just know what's behind what we do basically, and it's just like, oh, this has got to be the same because it has the same ingredient as that. And just like a lot of the I'm breaking up. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, so I'm done talking.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that well, at least I've seen that people are trying to make it a trend where they were washing their hair with dish soap because they think that it's like the same type of formula because they see the same ingredients. But dish soap typically has more anionic surfactants that are of stronger detergency power. They typically have more chelating agents, at least from my memory. So I it's like I can see how a consumer can try to think that dish soap and shampoo is the same because it contains surfactants, but I think in reality it's just not a good what's the word I'm looking for? A good conclusion to make.
Okay, Esther, I didn't understand your statement. I thought you were saying it the opposite way, that people were comparing it to dishwashing detergent and or dish soap, and that it was that shampoo was bad because of that. But yeah, you're right. It does have a stronger content of the surfactant systems that are really harsh for your hair and your body. So I would not suggest using that for your hair or your body at all.
Yeah, so this woman was pretty much saying that the product was bad because she thinks this is just her personal opinion, but this TikTok like blew up, and she was saying that it was similar to dish soap. I don't know how she literally just made that up. I don't think I don't know how she came to that conclusion. But like you said, I don't think you should be washing your hair with dish soap because dish soap isn't formulated for the hair; it's formulated for your dishes.
Okay, so I just hopped on Google to see what people thought were general myths about creams, and I would love to hear if you guys agreed. So myth one, according to Huffington Post, was that day cream and eye cream are the same thing. So according to them, they are not. And then I also saw in Google, kind of related to this, that um, stop buying separate creams for your body and your face. It's fine to apply the body products to your face, which may or may not be true. But what do you guys think? Are these products all the same or different? I guess the Google highlight is saying one thing, and then the Huffington Post highlight is saying something very different. There was a brand founder that was behind the Huffington Post article. What do you guys think?
Well, I don't. I mean, it depends on the brand and the formulator. I don't think a day cream and you said a face cream or face moisturizer or eye
It was,
moisturizer is the same.
yeah, and then also then
Yeah, I don't think it's the
body.
same.
Yeah.
Right. If you're advertising it as for eyes, you're gonna have. I mean, as a formulator, you're gonna put specific actives for the eyes, and for the face, the day cream is going to be the same for that. And as far as body is concerned, I'm not going to was it Bath and Body and buying that lotion with that high fragrance content and putting it on my face. So
Yeah.
no, I'm not putting body lotion on my face.
Yeah, like I totally agree with that. I actually had to tell my mom a couple times. I mean, she uses like Mary Kay moisturizer and cleansers and stuff, but I caught her one day using Bath and Body Works on her face, and I'm like, "Ma, no, this is not right." I mean, if you use it, you use it, but at being a chemist and knowing what goes into like a body cream or body lotion, just looking at the ingredient list and feeling that aroma as well, smelling the aroma as well. I'm not going to put that on my face. So I definitely agree with Cassandra. Like you shouldn't be using your body care products on your face care. Same with like your body wash. Seen that before too, Jen. When you're using a body wash and you feel like you should be putting it on your face. Two different pHs. It should be two different pHs based on the formulator. You should not be using body wash for your face.
I agree. I especially agree with what Cassandra said. Saying the eye creams will have the actives that are going to treat the eye concerns. I mean, it's like technically sure you can make a cream that has actives that can treat your face like skin concerns on the face, like aside from like your eyes, like, let's say like dark circles or other eye concerns. But eye creams aren't just I guess like for fun. I mean, some of the pricing can be pretty outrageous. I'm not gonna lie, but eye creams are for the eye, similar how body care products are for the body, face care products for the face, like et cetera, et cetera. So I don't think it's a waste, but at the end of the day, we don't know how every formulator is formulating their eye creams and their face creams and their body creams. It's a case by case basis.
I also think the brands don't want to be liable for certain things. Like if a body cream is meant for the body, you're putting it on your face and you break out from it. They're like, well, it's for the body because, like Cynthia said, the pH is different, or certain ingredient are can clog the pores. So why would you put it? Like the brand specifically said, this is your body, or they'll say this is for everything, 3-in-1 body, shampoo, face, like a lot of the men care products are like 3-in-1s. They'll tell you that.
Now I'm curious in your thoughts on this along these lines. Do you think that eye creams, because there are different perspectives out there, but do you think that they're like a necessary product that more people should consider in their skincare routine, or maybe not something that people should actively seek out, or not feel like they should actively seek out? And I guess this is me from the perspective of a very, very lazy skincare user. I don't personally use eye creams, and I totally agree with all the logic that you've said. There are specific actives, and also like the preservatives you use around your eyes may differ with respect to like eye sting, especially if you're making like a eye makeup remover kind of thing. But I'm like an extremely lazy consumer that I'll wear a lotion and sunscreen and that's it. But what do you guys think?
You bring you bring a good point about the eye area and it being like the thinnest skin of the body. So you really have to be careful with that. And I know you're saying that you just use a moisturizer, you don't use the eye cream. But a lot of moisturizers, face moisturizers, are formulated for the face, which is the eyes are part of the face. So that works for you. And some people may have issues with the eye, with like with dark circles or bags or something, or wrinkles or something, and they want they want to target that area a little bit more. So I would say, yeah, go for it. And also, those eye creams are super like small packaging, and they cost, like Esther said, a lot of money for like zero point 0.5 ounce or 1 ounce. So they know you're not going to use a lot. You're just going to use like a little dab every day.
I don't use eye cream. I tried it once, but even then I wasn't consistent using it, so I don't even know if it actually worked. But I mean, but from what I understand, especially with like dark circles, that is like genetic. And I know people treat it by getting like filler or like Botox, and I feel like that's probably like the most effective way to actually like treat that area. I'm not saying that eye creams don't work. I don't think it's like the best option ever. But I'm not gonna judge someone for using eye cream, because I mean, we've seen that actives have shown a difference on people's skin. But for me personally, it's just not something that I would seek out to purchase.
Yeah, I definitely. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I definitely don't. Not going to say definitely. I shouldn't say definitely, but I don't use eye cream skincare regimen. Um, and just looking at my family and my mom and cousins, they usually don't use eye creams either. And I take a look at people's eyes. I try to see, do they need to wear an eye cream or use an eye cream or whatever the case may be. But they don't have dark circles, especially with like wrinkles and just different things that will happen under the eyes, like bagginess as well. I don't really see that, so I'm not really educated enough, I guess, to say as far as eye creams. I mean, of course, you can always research, the different active ingredients you can put into the eye cream, but as a consumer, I really don't use it much.
I have to say, going back to what Esther said, that about it being genetics, it's not always genetics. It could be medically induced also, or just the way your body is performing to whatever stresses you're putting your body through. So because I'm in that beauty industry where I'm applying makeup to people's faces as well, and all of them get concealer as far as women when they're getting their face done. And a lot of them need color correcting under the eye. And, of course, that sometimes it is because it's genetics and the way the eye socket is set in their face. And you can see that throughout the world with different areas of cultures as well. So I think some of the eye creams do help because sometimes people need to have, like, for example, that caffeine in their product for eye cream, and that does help. And I have seen studies where it did help. I'm not saying it's going to help for long term, but most of the time it is internal. So I think fixing that as well can help.
Yeah, and for me, like if I'm looking for something special under my eyes, I'll use like a very hydrating product because that just like plumps up the skin. I don't necessarily go for um an eye cream. There's a product that I have been using just because my Patreon supporters wanted me to review it, which is Ren's Hydro Boost. But like you could find comparable hydrating products. But I just like apply it kind of under my eyes and around my face as well. But I find the like the humectants do a good enough job without seeking out an expensive product of plumping up the area under your skin as humectants do, rather than reaching for something really expensive. And I guess that also just kind of pains me because cosmetics typically have kind of like a transient impact. Well, that's great. Like if I've got bags under my eyes in the morning, then I want that transient impact, but it's not going to have like this long-term impact, like a significant drastic impact that I think a lot of consumers may expect if they're spending lots and lots of money on their products. Yeah, I guess that's my thoughts. And like no shame if this is something that you do. This is just what I do because I'm a lazy consumer for products. Yeah. Any thoughts before I finally got? I'm probably mispronouncing your business name, but Cielo Skin sent me the question on Instagram that I can ask if you guys don't have anything to comment there.
Wait, what's the question?
Okay, the question is,
Oh, sorry.
I was just saying if you guys wanted to chime in. Okay. So she's wondering where she is. It's pretty dry, and she tries to apply as much moisturizer as she can, particularly at nighttime. Can you use too much moisturizer? Can you over moisturize your skin?
I think you, in a sense, you can't really over moisturize your skin, but you can cause hypersensitive. No, not hypersensitivity, but you can be very sensitive to over production, over usage of production. That is, so I would be careful with that, because you might think that you want to moisturize more, so you add more and layers, and you think, okay, it's going to give me more moisture, but you're adding more product to your skin, and some of those ingredients in there are meant to be used at a certain percentage, and you're just adding more of that, which can cause irritation, and that specific ingredient may not even be in there for moisturization.
Yeah, if you have to use more of a moisturizer than you are supposed to, in a sense, or let's say you just have like just a regular body lotion and you want to keep applying the body lotion because you feel like you need more moisturization, just I think it's best to just get another type of product. So like you can get like a body cream or a body butter that has a little bit more moisturizing agents in there. A body cream, you can go ahead and just use that body cream one time. Maybe the body cream is targeting your dry skin or targeting for a more moisturized skin. I would just say just pick another product and not overuse, like your typical body lotion.
I personally haven't seen any scientific like any like analysis of what's considered over moisturizing the skin, because I don't know how they would really measure that and define that. But I agree with what everybody's saying here. Like if you feel like you need enough, like let's say, for example, some people they apply like lotion after like hours later after they shower and their skin ends up being too dry. I would reassess, like let's say applying my moisturizer on damp skin. But I wouldn't go on to like continually like applying products just because I don't see a change. But I would also even go to say that we've seen that you can overstrip your skin, and that for some people that leads them to producing like more oil, for example. But I personally haven't seen anybody overhydrating their skin. Excuse me, over moisturizing their skin. And some derms do say that like by I guess over moisturizing your skin won't be able to like shed skin cells, which is also called desquamation. But I have not seen any scientific evidence to show proof of that. So I'm not even sure if that's a thing, over moisturization.
So we've been talking for an hour. So just to wrap up our cosmetic chemist dish for this week, do you have any final take homes that you'd like to leave our audience with? Or maybe there's a misconception that you just want to clear the air about? Cynthia, would you like to go first?
Sure. Definitely a takeaway from our entire discussion. You need emulsifiers when it comes to especially your oil and water products, your body lotions, your moisturizers, whatever the case may be. You definitely want to have your emulsifier. From what we all study, from what we all formulate, we have not seen specific emulsifiers that are bad for you, quote unquote. Again, because there's no really types of data or scientific data to prove that. But it's all about how you formulate your product. So that's my takeaway.
Esther?
I guess my takeaway is that moisturizers don't make your skin lazy. I don't even know. Okay, I don't even know what kind of claim that is, but pretty much if a product does not work for you, that is completely okay. There are millions of products out there in the world. Find what works for you and just stick with that. As long as it's not, I mean, not that it's going to harm you, quote unquote, but if you like it, stick with it. That's skincare should be enjoyable, pretty much is what I'm trying to say.
And last but not least, Cassandra?
Yeah, a lot of the raw materials we use in emulsifiers, we've been using these type of ingredients since the day of dawn, and the ancient Egyptians and civilization use these type of ingredients, as well as some of them, like the fatty alcohols, even in your body. So I think people need to stop making things up just to have a story. And I think sometimes we need to not pay attention to these people too. So that's basically my takeaway.
Well, that concludes our Cosmetic Chemist dish for this week. If you have a topic suggestion for next week, let us know in the webinar chat, or feel free to send a message to Esther or I, and we will take it for consideration for next week. And reminder, join us on YouTube tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. EST. If you're on an EST, maybe you'll wake up for that. Otherwise, there will also be a recording. Esther, I think it's probably going to be way too early for you to watch live, but who knows? You wake up really early. So maybe not.
Don't call me out like this.
Wait, Esther, where are you, Esther? Where are you?
I'm in Southern California. I just have insomnia. I cannot sleep for my life, and I'll probably be knocked out, Jen. But if I'm awake, I'll watch you. I'll be able to hear you guys.
I hope you're knocked out. But if you're not, then so join us tomorrow. Send us your tips for topics. But thanks to our cosmetic chemist for joining us, and thanks everyone else for joining in the audience. And also, I'll be publishing this it's going to be a busy morning for me tomorrow, but I'll try to get this on the YouTube Notes channel in the morning, and then I'll post it in the webinar chats. Thanks, guys. I hope you have a great rest of your night.
Thank you, Jen.
You too. Thanks, everyone. Good night.